And this is actually a special training. Instead of mainly hyping you guys about anong pwede nyong makuha sa USANA, today siguro I'll share very little about that and more of how to proceed with the business given the special circumstance we're in right now. So siguro for the people lang who don't know me yet, I'm Ryan Tan and I've been with USANA na rin since 2009. So when I got into USANA, I was a fresh nursing grad from UST. And the only reason that I got into USANA was it was already very hard to go abroad as a nurse by the time I graduated. So when I was looking at the salaries dito of nurses, so sabi ko if I were to get paid like 4 or 5,000 a month, sabi ko I'm not really willing to work for that amount. So sabi ko maghahanap ako ng ibang opportunities. And then I came across USANA nga in 2009. And fast forward, 11 years later, um, together with my business partner, si Raj Shogi, we are now executive one-star diamond directors of the company. And we are one of the top 10 income earners of USANA Philippines. So last year, when we were talking about our plans this 2020, we were actually very excited. Kasi we actually ended 2019 on momentum. And no first 2 months of 2020, things were actually starting to pick up for our team. And kaya lang, ang naging problem, just like most of you guys, we were caught surprised by this quarantine. Actually, 2 weeks ago, when we were reading news about the coronavirus in China, in Europe, para siyang out of sight, out of mind. Na since wala pa naman sa Philippines, wala pa sa backyard natin, we weren't giving much thought about the virus. And then it caught us um, in a surprise overnight na all of a sudden naka-quarantine na tayo. And today I would like to discuss, first and foremost, from my vantage point as a licensed nurse also, in the minds of most people kasi, should we be panicking at this point in time? So for most people who are not really familiar with the virus yet or who merely base their ideas about the virus from what they read on social media, instead of discussing ano ba particularly yung virus, I would just like to detail ano ba yung fatality and morbidity ng virus. So itong graph na to, so most of you, I'm sure you've seen this on Facebook. This was released by CNN also, and you would see the footnote on the lower left side. The actual source of this is the World Health Organization. So as you would see, based on their data, 80% of the COVID infections, most people would experience mild illnesses. So ito yung mga taong they actually caught the virus already. They're already COVID positive. But the interesting thing is, feeling nila may sipon lang sila or meron silang light fever or they did not even think na it was really COVID kasi sobrang mild nga lang ng symptom. So makikita mo itong 80% na to, that's very good news. Bakit? Because it means there's a very slim chance that you're gonna be part of the fatalities. But the 80% actually, the reason why we're being quarantined is that itong 80% na to, they go around with their daily activities not knowing na they're positive and they're already spreading the disease. So on the yellow part of the graph naman, you would see 14% lang pala ng population yung nagkakaroon ng full-blown illness. So sino yung 14% na to? So yung 14% na to, malamang sa malamang, sila yung by the time they encounter the virus, unlike the 80% na malakas yung immune system, ito yung mga taong by the time they caught the virus, nagkaroon sila ng full-blown influenza. So most scientists describe na if you're a healthy human being and you're exposed to the virus, worst case scenario is you would just have some sort of influenza. Ngayon, the problem is if you're part of the vulnerable segment of the population, which is the 5% who would end up being critically ill, ito yung nagkakaroon talaga ng full-blown difficulty of breathing, as in hindi sila makahinga. So, given that fact, you would see hindi naman talaga lahat are gravely affected by the virus. And just to give you an idea, based sa DOH also, if you're a person na napaparanoid ka na you think you have COVID and you go to the hospital, actually sila they're screening right now who to prioritize na i-admit. So kung nakikita naman nila you're young and healthy, mukha kang ang COVID positive, pero nakikita naman nila you're not in distress, wala ka naman sa danger zone, papauwiin ka nila even without testing you. Kasi as you know, wala naman masyadong test kits sa Philippines. So if you think you're positive, you're gonna be sent home, and you're not priority also to be admitted to the hospital. So you would see most cases talaga they're not critical. But at the same time, I'm not saying na it's not serious, lalo na if you're living with people na elderly talaga. So pag sinabi nating elderly, ang threshold is 60 and up. So right now, if you're building your USANA business, excuse me, if you're building the USANA business at this point in time, what we have to accept this early is that COVID-19 will remain to be a pandemic until there's a vaccine that will be available to the public. So meaning to say, it will spread and spread even after our period of quarantine until such time na ma-vaccinate tayong lahat. So you would read on Facebook also that there were already vaccines that were formulated by certain pharmaceutical companies. But you have to keep in mind, iba yung na-discover sa lab and iba yung na-test na siya over and over again for public consumption. So I think the fastest vaccine that was ever made was in 18 months. So best estimate na yan. So if they're working on the vaccine now, siguro within the next 6 to 12 months, we really have to adjust when it comes to doing our business. So, ngayon, ang public health, given na hindi mo naman pala mapipigilan yung pag-spread ng disease, what is the DOH and what are the governments globally trying to achieve? So, you would hear this term paulit-ulit sa social media, it's to flatten the curve. So, what do we mean by flattening the curve? So, this is a very simple explanation. So, this is a graph showing the number of daily infections through time. Governments natin right now is to limit the spread of infection. So hindi man siya fully ma-eradicate sa population natin. Ang goal is to slow down the spread. So you would see here, there's a bar showing the capacity of the healthcare system. So you would see the yellow portion, yan yung kapag mabilis yung infection rate sa country natin, na-overwhelm natin ngayon yung hospitals. So there was a post on Facebook showing na there are about 111 million Filipinos, but there are only less than 2,000 ICU beds in the Philippines. So just imagine, kapag sabay-sabay tayo lahat nagkasakit, hindi na tayo kaya i-accommodate ng kahit anong hospital, kahit sobrang dami mo pang perang pangbayad. So ngayon, the goal is mag-spread man siya, maging parang sa purple line lang siya. So yung spread niya is not as fast to a point na ma-overwhelm yung healthcare system natin. So you would read about Italy right now. It's very grave, their situation. Kasi right now, they don't have enough ICUs to accommodate their population. Pero ang silver lining naman natin dito sa Pilipinas, our population is not that old. So ang common mortality in Italy is 81 years old. And they have the oldest population in the entire Europe. Kaya grabe yung affectation nila. But when it comes to the Philippine setting, we don't expect, so long as we follow the quarantine, to end up as worse as Italy. So, ito nga, gaya ng sinishare ng corporate sa online meetings natin, the government really has no choice but to take drastic steps. And as you are all aware, we have a full-blown quarantine today. So ano ba yung realities na nangyayari right now given that yung quarantine naman is not really optional? So ako, I've encountered so many people talaga unexpected weeks ago, they did not foresee this. All of trainings, all these years I've been here, and I'm sure other upliners would be able to relate as well. We always propagate the idea na security. But during those times siguro, no, in normal economic times, para tayong sirang plaka, and I'm not really sure kung nakikinig ba talaga yung point. It has been realized by so many people right now. And as you would see also, I think 98% of the businesses in the Philippines are on a halt, lalo na if you're considered non-essential. So the only businesses allowed to operate right now are groceries, hospitals, and yung public markets. So right now, what are the medical experts recommending? So number one, you would see they strongly recommend frequent hand washing. So that's the single best way to prevent the spread of disease. They also recommend boosting your immune system. So kanina I was watching CNN Philippines and yung CNN International. So ito pa ulit-ulit sila no, you have to boost your immune system. And third is social distancing and quarantine. So again, that's to flatten the curve. So right now, you would see people are more and more receptive about the relevance of the USANA business, being a business run online and it being an essential business. So when I say essential business, ito, I would like to share this picture. Sabi nila, if you're a business person, you can diversify, but at the end of the day, you must have a business that is a boom business or a classic business. So when we say boom business, this is a business that should always have a permanent demand. So kapag meron ibang businesses, it would really suffer. So for example, a fad business like milk tea. So if you own a milk tea shop right now, I don't think the people who are quarantined are ready to go out to buy milk tea. So ibig sabihin siguro in normal economic times your business could boom, but unless you're into health and wellness, you're not really gonna thrive. And luckily, if you're in USANA, you're actually in a classic business. So why do I say that? So number one, people are actively looking for products that may boost their immune system. So I remember the last time I was in Watson's Enterprise, I was surprised, no? Dati makikita mo naman yung mga vitamins, hindi siya pinapansin. But when I was buying something from Watson's, nagulat ako yung mga tao, pinapakyaw talaga nila yung vitamins. And number two, USANA offers the best products that may help them. So when we see quality, formulation, and pricing, if you've attended product trainings before, you would know for a fact na this is true. And makikita nga natin, until a vaccine comes, people will really have to rely on the system. So meaning to say, if you're a person na malas ka, you're exposed to the COVID-19 and you manifest severe symptoms, you will really have to rely on your own body to overcome the virus. So that's why hanggang wala pa talagang vaccine na naiimbento, policy would always be in demand. Proflavanol always actually people will want to know more about USANA more than ever. Since I was on Facebook story last week. So I actually have a friend from UST nursing na nag-medicine. And I was encouraging her, she's a practicing doctor, I was encouraging her to take Proglucamine of USANA because medical doctors, as you know, they're on the front line in the treatment of this disease. So sabi niya, hindi siya receptive about Proglucamine because she was already taking something else. So ito naman, I was not really marketing USANA, I was just really shocked that day. So tinatanong ko ano yung brand na tinake niya and sabi niya Immunomax. So that's something that they buy daw from Mercury Drugstore. On my way home from the Enterprise that day, I really had to pass by Mercury Drugstore. And out of curiosity, I asked, ano ba yung Immunomax na yan? So tiningnan ko yung box, I took a picture. So that's the picture of the actual product. And I took a picture also, ano bang laman ng Immunomax? So yung Immunomax, so ako naman, so sabi ko, okay, beta-glucan. So sabi ko that's something proglucamine contains. So ako to be honest, even if I'm on my level, hindi ko naman talaga memorize yung laman ng products natin. So I was excited to go home and check ano nga ba talaga comparably yung laman ng proglucamine. So shockingly, yung proglucamine pala, you would see, you have to take that 2 tablets per day. So meaning to say ito, you would see yung baker's yeast extract beta-glucan. So that's 125 milligrams per tablet. So itong Immunomax, they're selling that for 17.50 per tablet. That's 10 milligrams that's made in Laguna and that has no approved therapeutic claims. Whereas with Problucamune, this for 56 contains, right now already sold out sa Mercury Drugstore. And if you would realize, ang daming tao, they wasted so much money buying placebos, hoping that it would boost their immune system. So if you're a USANA distributor, I think it's your moral responsibility also to educate the public when it comes to quality supplementation. So um, another thing that makes USANA relevant, so you would see naman no, whatever traditional businesses, again, unless you're considered essential business, you're not allowed to operate. But with USANA, you can run the entire business online. You can enroll people in 20 plus countries. You can place orders online. You can even enroll people through your mobile phones. So moving forward, considering this is our situation right now, I would like to share with you 5 things that I shared with my group also in our last face-to-face meeting. So these things that I would discuss with you are our continuing strategies moving forward. So number one, you really have to stick to the vision of Dr. Wentz. So ano ba yung vision ni Dr. Wentz? So Dr. Wentz, every time you attend conventions, wala siyang sinasabi kung hindi. He wants to be the USANA family to be the healthiest family on earth. So ito lang yung nakakatuwa sa situation natin right now. Every time you share that to people outside USANA, so natatawa sila, parang ang health kasi you don't really value it unless it's under threat or you're already undergoing a certain illness. But right now, when you talk about being healthy and quality products, people are actually more receptive. So ito, I would like to share also another post that I made on Facebook. So I made this last March 13. So this was a very simple post about proflavanol. And as you know, yung proflavanol C natin, it has FDA-approved therapeutic claim. So nagulat ako, 199 people like that post. And I think 40 people out of 199, they're non-USANA. So meaning to say, they're potential customers of mine. So this morning, nagulat ako, meron nag-message sa akin. She was my high school history. She was asking, paano daw umorder sa akin? So, kanina, hindi ko naman alam how to deliver it to her. So, buti na lang merong Lala Move and napadala ko sa kanya yung product. So, nagulat ako, she took a screenshot of what I sent her. Pinadalhan ko pa siya ng Ghirardelli chocolate. So, nagulat ako nung huli. Sabi niya, uy Ryan, magbabayad ako baka hindi na ako makaulit. And then now she's asking if she could be a member of USANA. So, that's actually, kung iti-trace back mo siya, that actually came about through this Facebook post. So, I think people are starting to be more exposed online. So, they're really paying attention to everything that you post. So, I would highly suggest you use quality USANA material. So, don't just blabber about the products. So, be direct to the point. Don't be too wordy. And at the same time, siguro, now that we're all active on social media, you have to be sure na you're establishing your credibility online. So, number one, you cannot be a purveyor of fake news. So, promote stuff na nonsense or alam mo naman medyo shady. After another post about USANA. So, minsan yung mga tao, hindi nila alam if you're a credible person or not. So every time you post something, you have to be senseful, thoughtful, and you have to be so I think nothing has changed naman when it comes to the business basic. We had to reach out, we have to talk to people. But considering the situation right now, we have to do it online. So at this point in time, you have to keep in mind we're still building a network of customers and distributors. So you don't going to point post about USANA and wala kang goal. So ito, ang goal mo is to share the product, share the business. You have to keep going out there via online. So third is you have to keep learning and you have to train with your team. So like what was mentioned by Ma'am Cherry in our Diamond Stand Up meeting kanina, I think most of the people listening to me right now, you're also part of your own team trainings. And I think during the duration of this quarantine, all the more na we could maximize our Zoom trainings. And ako, I highly suggest, if you're a new distributor of USANA, if before the quarantine, you really were busy to learn about the business you're part of, I think you could maximize your time right now, lalo na you're not working, to you can maximize your time to actually learn and master the business. So your uplines are very much present online and they're very much willing to teach you. And fourth is, given this quarantine period, I think it's very smart to still continue setting and hitting goals. So it doesn't mean na na-quarantine tayo, wala ka ng goal sa sarili mo or wala ka ng goal na hinahabol. So I think all the more na yung mga prospects, they're just at home. Actually, they're just waiting for you to reach out to them. So you have to have the mindset that business as usual pa rin tayo, pero yung medium lang naman talaga natin yung nagbago. So we're still actually building a network. We're still selling the products of USANA. The only thing is we do it online moving forward. And lastly, ito, whether there's quarantine or not, I think it's timeless that if you're in this type of business, you have to always lead by example. So, or if you want to keep checking about the keep advancing it to be productive, I think it's incumbent upon all team leaders to lead by example. You have to be visible online. You have to be available to your downlines online. And we really have to see us being at the forefront of the business, lalo na at this particular. And this is something that I came across last week. So this is very key. So sabi ko ako, of crisis. So I remember when USANA Philippines opened in 2009, that was the peak of the US recession. And although US recession yun, hindi masyadong tinamaan yung Philippines. I still remember that time, people were being laid off in the Philippines and yung economy was really uncertain. So I remember the leaders who really pushed to share the vision of Dr. Wentz and really pushed sana in the Philippines. And the leaders who did not quit noong 2009, once the recession was over, sila yung mga nag-boom ng todo-todo sa USANA. And if you were to ask me what my perspective is when it comes to this particular point in time, I think it's just like 2009 all over again. So meaning to say the people who are really pushing right now to grow their business and they're tirelessly share USANA online, I think by the time the quarantine is over and by the time the crisis is over, they are also going to be the same leaders who will really reap the benefits. So if you think na you did not take your USANA business seriously before the quarantine, or if you feel na you're a downline who has underperformed all these years, bumawi and to really do your thing. So let's keep sharing USANA. So that ends my discussion. Thank you guys.
Hello, ayan. So thank you so much, Ryan. We hope that you have learned a lot during his presentation. So tamang-tama to kick off our first series. So tomorrow, please stay tuned as we have DK naman from Cebu as he also shares some business online strategies. Don't worry, we will be upgrading our attendees. So nakita naman natin na sobrang gustong-gusto nyo talaga mag-training. And we will be sending the recording, the link to the recording to our Facebook page. So once again, thank you so much, Ryan Tan. So to all of you out there, kindly share this training din ni Ryan sa iba nyo na feeling nyo kailangan nila itong marinig. So maraming salamat po and stay safe, stay at home. And till the next training tomorrow. Bye!